and welcome back to White Claw Wednesday. This is episode 109. We have Jacob as a guest in person.
Finally.
And
we finally did it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Finally.
We've been meaning to do it for a long time.
Scoot forward.
Yeah, just
Okay, yeah,
there you go.
because you were
I think I was tapping
you
the door.
You were tapping the closet.
We're getting FBI raided right now. Hear them sneaking through the
Which
walls.
one you want, Jake?
Let's see.
You got mango or watermelon, I think.
I'm going mango.
Okay.
100%.
Thanks, because I was
Let's
down for a watermelon there.
You know what? I'm
It's also Frank's birthday. Happy
Oh,
birthday,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Happy
almost.
birthday to the big
Almost.
man.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
up. There's Pat.
One-handed.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Okay. Well, here we are.
What a start.
Here we are.
I know.
So Jake has been on the podcast
Oh, yeah, he's been on
before.
He was our first digital guest, and
we-
I think our only digital guest.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
We
holding
did
records out here.
We did a hardcore review of what?
Falcon
and the Winter
Falcon
Soldier.
and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think it had completed by then.
Yeah,
We did like a full
we
walkthrough.
We timed it out so we recorded post finale.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a legit walkthrough. So if you haven't watched that episode, go back and watch that one.
Yeah, I don't even know what number it is,
But I guess this one we're trying to get more into you because that one we really didn't.
We didn't really talk about you.
We just talked about the episode. You know,
It's full on interview time. I am ready.
Yeah.
absolutely,
Ryan wants to know what you do, and this is what I told him. I said,
dude. I heard like a couple lines and I was like, whoa.
yeah, tell him what my translation was.
Okay, you do. Well, the job itself, what you do is you consult to like healthcare practices or hospitals on their website. So you'll help them, I don't know, update their website, get more functional features present. But more intriguing, what Frank was telling me, and I don't want to get you in
I have
trouble.
a feeling where this
So-
is going.
I don't want to say too much, but he basically said that your CEO is really, really progressive and out there. I don't know, to sum it up.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
You were pretty close. So I work for a marketing company. We build websites for like medical practices, not hospitals. So it's like private practices.
Private practice.
Your chiropractor, your dentist,
Got you.
veterinarians, people that aren't corporations. So no VCA.
So it's not healthcare specific.
No.
So you're not running like kp.org. Like
No, nothing like that. We're building independent practices. People you see in like the strip malls or like in nicer buildings that own their own practices.
Right.
Nice.
We do their website, and then we do like their digital marketing. So things like Google advertising, social media posting, content creation, email stuff.
Wow. So are you building websites from the ground up usually, or are you typically just taking over the website? How do you guys go about that?
Yeah, we build from the ground up. I mean, we use WordPress as like a foundation.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, like our developers are all full stack developers, so they're pretty well versed in all the different languages.
Sure.
Is WordPress like a website builder?
Yeah, it's called a CMS. It's like a content managing system.
That's
Gotcha.
right. Nice, man.
Yeah. I've gotten
That's awesome
I've gotten
to know
pretty
that. Hey.
pretty into like basic
cool.
web developing. I like to tell the developers,
Cool.
hey, I'm coming for your job. But we start from the ground up usually because they're with a competitor, so we have to build them like a new website. So our whole business is predicated on cold calling. We have people in the office, and I've been in the office since August of 2020 now. So we have people. The sales team is cold calling these offices, getting to the decision maker, the office manager or the doctor, whoever makes the decision on the website, either financially or just for the practice in general. Mm-hmm. And then we sign them up. We tell them about our services. And then my role, once they get signed up, I actually work with the doctor, whoever the point of contact is in the practice. And we work together to go through like design. We go through content on the website. And then I'm basically like their main communicator in the process to the developers to actually build the site.
Very cool.
And I'm trying to sell them a bunch of shit along the way. So
Sure. No, I
So
totally understand.
You don't have to cold call yourself, or do you?
no, not necessarily. That's actually what I got hired on for. So right out of UCSD, they had a career fair, I guess in my last quarter. So I graduated a quarter early, so in the wintertime of 2020. And I went to a career fair, and I met the people there, and they had a booth and stuff, and I got some information. But I didn't know because I was graduating early, so I was going to be looking for a job sooner than everybody.
Are you guys the same age?
Yeah.
Same grade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
same
okay.
age,
Yeah.
same grade. Yeah. He just so What'd you graduate?
That would make sense. Wait, you graduated
2020
2020
in like February, March.
Yeah, and I graduated
March.
2020 December.
So a little bit later.
Yeah.
Are you're on quarters? What do you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, that makes
UCSD.
sense. Yeah,
So-
yeah,
He
yeah.
was on quarters, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
The
on
UC
semester,
system.
so I graduated December.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know. We're all 2020 kids.
I made it in just a nick of time.
I can remember
Yeah,
how
you did.
excited Frank was. He's like, dude, I still get to be class of 2020.
It was awesome. I
I
was
get
like,
to keep the consistency.
Did you ever get to walk?
No.
yeah, I still haven't gotten to walk.
Yeah, I
Well,
have.
you
like-
heard about what happened to Frank, right?
Oh yeah, remember I told you I had to do it like it was like
This past month.
it was like the first weekend of January I
Right.
had scheduled, and then like literally like a week before, basically less than a week before, they were like, yeah, it's not happening.
Which is
they pulled the plug.
I mean, come on.
Freaking
you know?
con-
About
Yes,
as
I swear.
it was about as close to you could get to the date to pull the plug, because we had already bought our plane tickets, and
Oh,
I assume
jeez.
everybody else had, and they did an indefinite postponement to spring, they said.
For COVID stuff? Like,
Yeah,
just
for
because of
COVID.
the Omicron?
Yeah, just because of the
Omicron,
Omicron.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
I mean, I understand it, but like, gosh, man, that sucks.
Yeah,
That does
like,
suck.
I feel like any organization or any event like has the right to just cancel at any time.
yeah, just
and
yank.
COVID has become the
no
ultimate
responsibility,
excuse.
You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, sorry, we
Sorry.
gotta protect you all. And it's
COVID.
like gone.
Just the one word.
I feel like they, like, at some point they're going to have to start just kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid in a sense.
Yeah.
People that are vaccinated and that are, healthy and trying to be safe and clean, you should still be able to have these events. Like, I was able to get my booster, I think, second week of January. I feel
Cool.
invulnerable.
I feel indestructible right now because I
know.
actually got COVID. So
yeah,
it's
you
like
got it,
double whammy.
got it, went through it.
Have you gotten it?
I haven't gotten it, but I do have the booster, so
Dude, we're in the club of
Dude, I know,
no
right?
COVID through the entire pandemic.
we're still
see,
riding clear.
I'm really, really pissed that I
That you
actually
didn't-
got it.
Yeah,
I
you
feel like
got
I have
it.
to like scooch an inch this way.
No, right.
No.
That high five. That was the pass right there. That was the COVID
Well, it's
pass.
so frustrating. It's like I can't believe I got this far. Like I got this far. I had it like, I don't know, what, a month and a half.
Yeah,
ago?
I
It was
saw the
beginning- it
episode
was the
titles.
beginning of-
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
beginning
December.
of January, I think.
So I was just like, God, I cannot believe I got it in 2022. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it started in 2020. I made it this freaking far.
He's a late
And-
bloomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
Yeah,
whatever.
that sucks. Because, like, my fiance, Desi, she caught COVID in, like, September,
Uh-huh.
despite us both being vaccinated.
2021.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this past
yeah.
September. And, like, we both came in contact with the same person that had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in closer contact, like hugs and everything. Like, he stayed at our place.
Yeah, yeah.
However, she was the one that got sick. So,
Yeah.
It
Dude,
feels like
there's-
when you're vaccinated, it's almost as if it's like just so 1 in a million, in the sense of like if you were to like throw like a million darts at a dartboard,
Mm-hmm.
there's like maybe like 1 or 2 spots where the dart will just go straight through the board. Like
yeah.
there's a giant dartboard, but there's only a few little holes where the dart goes perfectly through.
Right.
I feel like catching COVID when you're vaccinated is kind of like a dart just somehow falling through one of those holes.
I
Yeah.
gotta say, Frank's analogies on the
dude,
podcast
it's
keep me
so
going
prime,
through my
man.
week. Like,
It's like
every week, I'm like, what is he gonna say today?
I try and sound smart and intelligent, and it just doesn't work. And then Frank doesn't even try, and he just comes up with like the best metaphors there are in the world.
Oh, you think it sounds
Or
smart
the
and intelligent?
quotes.
Oh,
No, I don't think so.
that's
but
not
I,
where I was going with that
They're
at all.
witty. They're witty stuff. You know, like Frank's very
I
witty.
don't know, you can use the word intelligent. I don't know if intelligent.
No, his brain works in a certain way, and I think
I'm making it make sense.
At
for
least
myself.
it works. You know. That's the point.
I'm
That's a good
big.
point.
I'm big picturing it.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
true.
You know, I'm putting in a big picture.
a lot of people lack the ability to see big picture. I mean, I think like emotions make it really hard to see big picture and like remove yourself from a situation.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
this is the pandemic as a whole. This is how vaccines kind of work. There's going to be breakthrough cases, which is what Desi was. She's a breakthrough
Right,
case.
right.
She had to go to urgent care. Like, it was pretty
So
bad.
was it the booster or was it just regular?
No,
Like
I think
the two dose.
it must have been. Oh, you mean like her
what
vaccine?
did
yeah,
she have?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we both got the Moderna, so we both got double
But
dose.
when
and
was
then
the breakthrough?
It
in
was
September,
before
so it was a
booster.
Delta. Yeah, it was before the booster.
Oh, so okay.
So
Yeah, I think that I don't know if it's more common now because of the strains, like all the different strains out there. And honestly, I don't even know which one I got. Like I was trying to figure it out.
how quickly did you get over it?
I was good. I felt great after 3 days. I started working out again.
So that's probably the Omicron variant, because The Omicron is really high spreadability, but the severity of it is a lot less.
But here's the thing. I kissed Amanda when I was
Gross.
Just kidding. When I was like literally the most contagious. She didn't get it. And we slept together that night. Like, not like, near each other.
No.
Yeah.
It's funny
I
when,
like the
you,
phrase.
when you use
But-
that phrase. It's like, wait,
Wait,
which
what are you talking about?
Wait, which version of the phrase?
You are getting married. So
That's
it's
true.
okay.
It's okay. But
Could mean either.
either way,
I mean-
it's crazy she didn't get it,
Mhm.
and she was boosted. She had just gotten the booster. So I don't know the science behind it, but I imagine she didn't have the antibodies just yet, or at least the most,
There's a ton of
antibodies
factors.
produced.
There's a ton of factors that go into it. So like your viral load that you're carrying at the time,
Right,
like you
right.
may have felt most contagious because that's when you felt the most sick.
right.
But the actual viral load of the like virus in your body could have been lower.
Right.
Because I think they work at different speeds.
Yeah. I
know,
was reading that too.
You're probably most contagious in terms of the actual viral load when you're not feeling as sick.
Yeah.
That's how it spreads because people don't
Right.
feel as sick, so they're going around
Yep.
touching everything.
They say like you're the most contagious right before you start having symptoms.
Pretty
It's like
much.
because that's when it's reproduced so much that your body's like, whoa,
Yeah.
and it just starts throwing everything.
It's awesome
at
how it
you know?
works that way, you know?
Now,
It's incredible.
You're,
Man.
you're most dangerous to others when you have no idea you're dangerous to others.
yeah, I feel like it's saying something there.
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah, it is. It's
To be fair, like I really haven't gotten tested that much. Like,
good point. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
in my mind, don't get tested, can't have COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
To
But,
quote
like-
our previous president, right?
Yeah, pretty
If
much.
we test more, we have more cases.
Yeah, so just
That's true.
stop testing people. It's
And our
wrong.
cases would go down.
The numbers, they're all lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I liked about doing the extra jobs is that every single day you had to get tested. So it
really?
was
They
like,
test you on the spot, right?
yeah,
Oh,
they did
yeah.
on the spot.
Is it
like,
the antigen one, the rapid?
Rapid
yeah,
PCR
they do,
test.
the last couple weeks I worked on Super Pump, they had upped their testing because of Omicron. So they had moved it to, you took a test the day before going to work, and then you had to take 2 tests once you got to work, both the rapid and the antigen.
Dude, that's an expensive policy to keep and
That's
maintain.
That's what I was imagining every time because they have so many tests that they're.
They
giving
must
out.
just order like a million.
Oh, that's the closed one.
Oh my god! I didn't even know there was.
We
some
almost had a
there.
podcast foul.
I just realized I took yours. I'm sorry.
So
dude.
Ryan's stealing
I
White
just
Claws.
stole our guest's White Claw.
and you didn't
And
spill
I
one.
knocked down my own. No, I.
You knocked down a closed one. Okay, good.
We're good.
Because we got records. We got records on the floor over there.
I know, you
Oh,
gotta be
really?
careful.
Watch out for those records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
The viewers can only see so much of what this room entails, but we're staring like face to face with Chance the Rapper, Snoop Dogg, and
Yeah.
Ed Helms of all people.
It really
So-
is. One day, Frank, we should literally rearrange your room and just get like a panoramic view of this and do an episode.
It's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny
It
that
is.
you have the Wolf of Wall Street poster right there.
It's so tiny.
I know,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
my
yeah.
company, before I was there, sadly, but in 2019, they did a sales training with Jordan Belfort
What?
with the Wolf of Wall
Really?
Street. Yeah, down in San Diego.
It's crazy how that guy screwed over a ton of people and he's like still successful on sales and stuff.
I mean,
Oh, he's doing great.
the
But, like,
tactics haven't changed. It's just
it's
what
true.
he was practicing was bad.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you selling? Right. Yeah.
Pretty
no,
much. I mean,
Absolutely.
the fundamentals of selling are still the same, and he just was really good at it. Plus, he served his prison sentence, or as much as he needed to, I guess.
Yeah,
And then he got out. But somebody that famous, and then Martin Scorsese makes a movie out of you,
Mhm.
I don't think you have to worry about brand deals or
That's
influence
It's
as
like-
you go along.
true. That
Yeah,
is
like-
true.
Yeah, I mean, you know that you made it when Leonardo DiCaprio plays you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's true.
That's pretty cool.
I really liked your guys' stories last week about Leo and Tobey Maguire being best
Oh,
buds, and
dude.
how what if it was
yeah.
different if
The
they
alternate
swapped?
universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get your own multiverse going on.
My
It's a good
mom,
thought.
I was telling that to my mom, and she said, "Yeah, I always thought Tobey Maguire was more attractive." And I was like, "There it is." I was like, "I knew there's
There's somebody out there.
there's cement to this theory. Like it could have been. It really could have been."
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I only remember him, besides The Great Gatsby, his role in Tropic Thunder as the gay priest
as
with
the gay
with Robert
priest
Downey
with
Jr.
What?
You guys were talking about it. You talked about Tropic Thunder,
But we forgot to.
but you
mention
forgot
that. Yeah.
to mention it.
Do you not remember the opening of Tropic Thunder where they do like They show the movies.
Kirk Lazarus is
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and he's this like crazy actor who has all the Oscars.
Yes,
He goes all
yes,
method and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
And he's a priest, but he's like a sinful priest, and he's having an affair with the
With
other friars.
with the other, yeah.
And like Tobey Maguire's the friar, and he's like touching the
that's
rosary
right.
beads.
That's
I
right.
remember because it's like starring Oscar winner Kirk Lazarus and MTV Best Kiss winner Tobey Maguire.
Dude, that movie. Funny enough, that's the first movie my fiance and I watched together
Tropic
before we were even dating.
Wow.
And that is an aggressive movie to watch
Yeah,
together.
it
You got to
is.
be ready.
You got blackface. You got
You even got
super racism, like Asian
towards
portrayals.
Asian.
make fun of-
They make fun of the Asians.
They
and
make fun of like mentally
they
handicapped
make fun
people,
of
Simple
handicapped
Jack.
people.
Simple
yeah.
Jack, yeah.
And I think that's the best performance of Ben Stiller's career.
It is, dude. I couldn't agree. Like, no, really, like
It's really funny.
that's what's pretty fucked up
Yeah.
about that movie.
And
Yeah.
you get Tom Cruise
oh my god,
in a body fat suit, cussing at people and dancing like crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh
He
my
plays
God.
like
when?
the-
He
What is
plays
it,
Les
talent?
Grossman.
Yeah, Les Grossman.
He's
the
the
talent
agent.
man.
He's Ben Stiller's agent. Remember, he's on the phone yelling all the time.
Yes.
And he's got the ball.
I
in
will
his hand.
fuck you up.
You didn't realize that was Tom Cruise?
No.
Yeah.
So
Tom
good.
Wow.
The
that's
fact-
awesome.
And
Yeah.
that movie
That's
came
awesome.
out the same year as Iron Man. So Robert Downey Jr. is doing blackface and Iron Man in the same year,
yeah,
and we're okay with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also Matthew McConaughey's in that movie, and Bill Hader, and freaking
And what's his face?
Danny
McBride.
Danny McBride,
I don't even.
and Nick
I
Nolte.
can't believe.
and Nick Nolte.
Dude, that cast is
The explosives
ridiculous.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
unbelievable.
Danny McBride is the one that's supposed to like rig all the explosives
Yeah.
for them on the movie set.
Go. Go.
It's like we only have one shot at this.
No.
No.
Go. Okay.
Boom. They blow up the whole forest. And then the one guy like steps on a landmine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the I think that actor's name is Steve Coogan. He was the
Well, that's the director, right? The director.
yeah.
of
Steve
the
Coogan
movie.
plays like the director of the
Yeah.
fake movie, and he steps on the landmine, and then Ben Stiller picks up his head and starts like licking.
Tropic Thunder is
The effects are so good.
such a classic. Corn syrup. Corn syrup.
Nice.
Oh God.
And then they're like, dude, I don't think that's fake. He just like starts throwing up. Oh man. Jack Black's in that movie too.
Yeah.
What's the other black guy's name? That's in their group.
Oh
Yeah,
shoot.
I know who you're talking about.
The actor's name I don't know.
The actor's name, God, I know exactly who you're talking
See,
about.
What
I
was the
tried-
song? The
He plays the rapper. in
Ball
the-
Sweat was the
yeah. Ball
yeah,
Sweat
Ball
was
Sweat.
was the thing like the energy
product
drink he
energy
sold?
drink.
Yeah,
And he's
Ball
like trying
Sweat,
to push the whole time.
and then he
Oh.
turns out to be gay at the end. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Jack Black has like a drug problem.
Yeah.
He's like
yeah.
trying to find drugs in the forest the whole time. Oh man.
Dude, I gotta rewatch that movie.
Yeah,
now,
man.
It's
honestly.
definitely worth a rewatch. I spent so much time like when I'm listening to this podcast and you guys can't remember somebody's name, it comes to me like instantly.
Dude, yeah. I
but
bet.
now that we're like in the spot, I can't remember shit.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
see exactly. It's
No,
hard when
that's
you're in the-
that's honestly partially the reason I think why Frank and I wanted to do a podcast is because we were listening to them so much and we're like, oh, like we could do this. Like I have so much to say, you know.
Yeah.
And then you're in the moment and you're like, oh wait, I can't.
Oh,
think.
speaking
Oh,
about
my
so
God.
much to say, dude.
Huh.
Yesterday I'm charging my car at like midnight, like really late,
Yeah.
almost 1 a.m.
Mhm.
And I go on Instagram, and the first post on Instagram was like 45 minutes ago. It was posted, so it was a late night post from Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
that.
Did you see that whole
His apology
his
thing?
apology video on
From
Instagram
last night or the
Yeah,
other
from-
one?
No,
There's
just from
two.
immediate
There's
last.
two.
Like,
Apologizing for shit he said in the past,
he
like
posted it last night, just last night, very
Yeah.
late, like 11.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Sorry about that. We were having some major audio issues. You probably heard in the first 10, 15 minutes there. But we're back. Just had to cut there and fix it. So we were talking about the Joe Rogan thing. Frank was giving the intro. So, Frank, I'll pass it back off to you to do it again.
So Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan.
Rogan rolla.
Joe Rogan's in hot water right now because he had someone compile all his old podcast clips where he says the N-word, and they made a compilation of it. And I haven't seen the compilation. I just saw Joe Rogan's apology video reacting to it, and he seemed pretty like it just. You know, cancel culture has created the apology video category. You know, it's
Sort of. I think since like digital media has been a thing, people have used it as a platform to like try and cover their bases. I think like apologies are one thing, but like sincere apologies are another. And you know, personal opinion is just like, and I think Joe Rogan's like an honest person, but he has a lot of stupid ideas, and the controversy. I haven't watched his post about it yet, but it doesn't surprise me that people have made like a compilation of stuff that happened a few years ago. It's the same way, you know, James Gunn went down. It's the same way all these different content creators have gotten canceled per se, which they're all still successful in a way, but cancel culture has a lot of good points and a lot of emotional points. And
I agree.
There's 3 non-black people here discussing the Joe Rogan's use of the N-word, so it's like,
oh yeah, that is true.
it's not exactly the most
For sure. Yeah, but I
valid
mean,
point.
take everything we say with a grain of salt, you know. But I think, you know, everything that he was saying, I could tell it was a sincere apology. But I honestly agree with everyone getting mad at him for doing that. Like, I remember listening to some of the episodes where he was talking about just saying the N-word was like taboo, and then he would say it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I don't know. I mean, I understand what he's saying of like, you can't even say it in any context.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is a word that is unlike any other. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I felt, it made me feel weird when I was listening to it the first time. And to see it kind of come back, I don't know. It does give me sort of bad feelings about him. Just because I guess that there were so many occurrences of it. And he even said that he was stupid. And I do like what he said, where he's like, if you have to say you're not racist, you fucked up. You know,
that I thought was,
and he's like, and I messed up.
yeah,
know?
that I thought was probably the most
And
was,
it's so
was
true.
a moment from the video where I was like, okay,
It's so true.
this feels like a new sort of energy than what I'm used to in these apology videos. But even that statement, like when he said, when you have to say I'm not racist, you fucked up. And that's sort of exactly where it's like, okay, he's kind of in a catch-22 situation because it's like, would he have ever stopped this behavior had the climate not changed? You know what I mean?
Good question.
That's a really
Like,
good point.
It's
Good
kind of like
question.
texting and driving. Like you're
Yeah.
probably gonna text and drive until, as sad as it is to say, until you have something horrible happen to you while texting and driving.
It's interesting because there was a really big shift in like the public opinion on the use of that word, and I think it coincides with like the rise of social media in the early 2010s. Because thinking back to like middle school, high school times, it was thrown around so casually. At least at my high school, it was.
Dude.
Oh, same.
Anybody and everybody would say those types of words,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was really no consequences of it.
Very true.
But now that a lot of our everyday life
Yeah.
is put out in the open, I think the like criticism and the like self-awareness has increased to a point where it's like, yeah, none of that was okay. We shouldn't have been saying it in the first place. And now if you're still saying it when all these other things have happened already, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
So
yeah,
that is an
100%.
important distinction with his point, because they are from that time
Right,
where that
right.
was like part of the culture.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who's had a lot of hours of recorded
Yeah.
video on the internet that's
Yeah.
there forever.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not going anywhere, and that's going to live with him forever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't excuse it or make it okay. So
He also talked about one episode where he talked about seeing Planet of the Apes high, and then and then he talked about how like he was in, I think he said he was in New York or something. Like
he got out of a cab, or
he
was
got out of a
saying something
cab, and I'm assuming it was New York because
Yeah.
this is early 2000s. This is 2001 when the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes came out, and you know this is around the time where he's doing stand up and he's got the show on NBC, the comedy show. So I'm assuming he was living in New York at the time.
News
and
radio.
But yeah, News Radio. That's the name of the show. And that was, I thought, the most damning part of the apology video was him talking about this episode that he completely deleted.
Yeah.
Which was basically
you're
him,
right.
you know, making a joke about like, oh, I'm in the Planet of the Apes right now because I'm in a black neighborhood, you know, like while he's like going to see the movie, and that was like, I was like, damn, that's like, that right there, that's sort of hard. Like that's, I just don't.
Let me just say,
I don't see him coming back with an apology video. Like I had no idea.
Put it in the
That's the thing
context
about
of
Joe
this.
Rogan podcasting for over a decade.
Yeah.
Is that he's got so many fans that have little to no idea about his history as a podcaster and all. Like,
or as a comedian.
As a comedian.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that Planet of the Apes story.
No,
and,
yeah.
And I was like,
absolutely.
ooh, I was like, that's, I was like, Joe, I don't know about that one, Joe. That's basically what I was thinking. I was just like, I don't think you can come back from that one.
Well, let's put it in the context of like our podcast, right?
Yes.
We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And we have not even remotely the following that
Exactly.
Joe Rogan does.
Exactly.
And we haven't said anything remotely close to that, you know. So I don't know. I just the fact that he's that big and he says something like that, and he even said this. He's like, even in context, it was a stupid joke.
Exactly. Like
It's just like, man, that's bad.
It
you know?
doesn't. Yeah.
And like, don't even like if you're really. The fact that he had posted it and thought that it was like okay to post, I think that is the bad part.
That's the bad part. Because even if you step back in time and you say like, okay, he's saying it in this year, it's still
bad,
a bad
no
what.
joke.
For sure,
For sure.
It's not.
I'm really glad you brought this up because I was like thinking about it, and I feel like with cancel culture and stuff. And I'm really glad you started talking about how people throughout like high school and middle school and like even college for me, people were slinging the word around like nothing. And I'm really glad you said that because I feel like with cancel culture, it's redemption, or even maybe with our generation, it's like redemption is such a weird thing for us in that we give redemption to our friends and people that are close to us.
Yeah.
But we don't even think about redemption for
people with status.
With status on the internet.
Very
or
true.
even people in our community, like a public official or a principal or something along those lines. I don't know what it is. Because, like, you know, you just said, oh, people used to say it in middle school, people used to say it in high school. I know that I still have friends that used to say it back then, and I still know
people that say it.
So like, it's this weird concept to me where I'm questioning my own like criticism of people when
you've
why am I
others,
not criticizing right because
Yeah.
I know them personally.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. I think it's a generational thing.
Well,
Honestly.
that's actually a great point. I think in my mind it's come full circle. So it reminds me of like ancient Roman times where we would throw somebody in a pit of lions for blasphemy or going against the traditional, train of thought. That was so
Frank,
was that not
what
the least
the
smooth thing
was
you've
that?
ever seen?
Dude,
Frank just tried to throw his phone onto the bed after looking at a text, and then he threw it straight on the hardwood floor.
Literally, Frank, I thought you tried to throw it on the floor. That's how bad of a throw it
So
was.
we love audio listeners here. We like
So
to just
bad,
grace their
yeah.
ears with hard sounds of
I hope that you all heard
phones
that.
on the floor.
Definitely heard that.
I feel like the
thud.
vibration, like
By the way, man, sometimes you find a phone case and
Yeah.
you're just like
so in love with it.
Thank
you're just
God.
like, wow,
Yeah.
this case has saved my phone
Yeah.
about a million
What phone
times.
case is that?
Dude, it's just a $10 rubber plastic one
Wow,
from
that's
Amazon.
impressive. That's impressive.
And I've had it for almost 4 years. And
That's
I've had
impressive.
drops where I'm talking getting out of the car,
yeah,
chest level,
yeah.
drop all the way down to the concrete, flat on the screen.
Ooh, wow.
Faced, and I pick it up, and it's good.
No screen protector?
No screen protector.
Damn, you're living on the edge, man.
I swear that case is money.
all right. Back to.
I know. Way to derail a big
Yeah.
brain thought, my man.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That was so funny.
Classic way to just totally
interrupt
disrupt
and
a
I
conversation.
dropped
Just
the
throw
phone.
your phone on the floor.
What I was saying is I think that cancel culture, and there's a lot of value in publicly calling out people that are committing actions that
For
we
sure.
deem not okay
For sure.
as a society.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, though, it's come full circle where because they have status and because they have influence or their opinions are very much against the traditional narrative, we immediately throw them into the pit of lions, so to speak.
Right.
Or we burn them at the stake.
Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
let's say 500 years ago, women wanted to practice science or something. They
Sure,
would have been
sure.
like killed for that.
Sure,
because
sure.
it's not like it was against the traditional narrative.
What a
This-
concept! Like,
this
can
is
you
not the
imagine
same thing.
Living in that time, it's
I'm
just
not
like,
comparing Joe Rogan saying the N-word to women and their pilgrimage throughout history.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that society's
Shit
reaction,
changes people.
society's reaction to behavior that we deem unworthy has risen and fallen.
Yeah,
there was a time where everything was okay. Think 80s, think Taxi Driver, think the content that we used to consume. They used to have porn in movie theaters, that everybody could just go and watch.
Yeah. And there's also
the whole team of the Mets in the 80s used to be like on drugs.
Oh yeah, and then,
everybody
steroids, baseball in the 90s.
Yeah.
People making movies on cocaine in the 80s.
Right.
It was the norm for abusive husbands and damaged kids.
I mean, it's literally called a wife beater.
Yeah.
Like
there's periods of time where that behavior was just the norm and it was accepted.
Right.
And then there comes a time where everything is more visible, usually with the rise of a certain technology, and in this case it's like social media,
video,
audio, all the different platforms of connection. I think that has created a very, very high sense of social criticism.
Yeah.
And I think people are very quick to be like, that's not right. You need to be removed from this platform.
Right.
And there's pros and cons to removing people or silencing them for some examples.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily right to fully deplatform somebody for a bad idea or a bad joke if they acknowledge or are self-aware enough to realize where they went wrong or recognize the change in behavior.
Right.
If somebody says I said that stuff, what's it to you? Don't come at me. That's, I could say what I want. It's free speech. This is America. Okay, you obviously don't understand the concept of what we're trying to say. You shouldn't have this influence anymore.
Yeah.
But when people are like, hey, I fucked up. That was a way of thinking back then that I thought was the norm. And let's take Joe Rogan, for example. I'm a comedian. It's my job to push the boundaries and see where the line is and fiddle with that line a little bit because that's what gets reactions. That's what gets laughs.
And that's true.
And that was going too far. That's a different conversation than, other types of cancel culture.
Right.
Dude, I recently watched the movie Nightmare Alley. Bradley Cooper. It was directed by Guillermo del Toro. Remake
I've heard
of the
mixed things about that so far.
Great line in the movie, which is, sometimes you don't see a line until you cross it.
Sometimes you don't see a line until you cross it. Ooh, I like that quote.
It's kind of what Jacob's talking about
here
with living in a time and then moving into another time and then having people examine past time and then being like, I had no idea that.
Yeah.
Well, also imagine this. Imagine living your whole life walking on eggshells because you're trying to determine where that line is.
Exactly.
That's exhausting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nobody in their right mind can do that.
And that's why the line
that's
is
why
great.
Comedy is tough.
Yeah, that's why comedy's tough today.
And that's why good comedians generally say the wildest shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly. But that's why the line is so good because it's it almost applies to everything.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It's very
Because
true.
if you're really not looking for the line, then you're gonna cross it.
Eventually.
So it'll be like, oh, there's the line.
let me ask you guys this: What do you guys think about this whole statue? I don't know, controversy going around, which is people want to get rid of statues because
Confederate statues.
XYZ. Well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about George Washington per se.
Oh, because George Washington owned slaves. And
he owned slaves, but
Thomas Jefferson,
or the Theodore.
Every one of the founding fathers.
Everyone owned slaves.
The Teddy Roosevelt one with he's got Native Americans on the side of him holding up his stuff that. There's another statue like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of them that people are this is not great. It's hard,
tough.
right? It's super hard because you're they've built the foundations, even though they perceived the words that they were saying in such a arbitrary way that they didn't even understand. It's all men are created equal, and yet
they didn't.
I'm doing the exact opposite.
I'm doing the exact
but they,
right.
but they still somehow got it right.
And that's what's hard about it. It's
it's a weird respect.
It's we came from that, but we also are wow, we kind of suck. But at the same time, it's but if we didn't suck, would we be where we are right now?
Well, it's interesting too because there's a real distinction you have to make between history and glorifying an ideal of what these people may have meant or stood for.
Yeah.
So if somebody in the current day is glorifying what the founding fathers stood for.
But isn't
in
like
terms
but in the context of a statue, like a statue is like, whoa, look at this person, they get their statue, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, would
Remember
that
them forever.
qualify as like glorifying?
That's interesting because like you can put up a statue before somebody's dead, and then they do some horrible shit, and then it's like, well, we spent all this money on this nice statue. A lot of this comes down to like laziness, financial aspects. Like,
Sure,
well, we
sure,
spent
sure.
all this money on the statue. Now we're just gonna go and tear it
Sure,
down,
sure,
even though
sure.
it's the right thing to do. Like, it doesn't make sense.
The
for us.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
They won a Super Bowl February 2018. Nick Foles, a backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
What a great Super Bowl, by the way.
Exactly.
Amazing.
An amazing Super Bowl. But outside of the Eagles Stadium is now, right after that Super Bowl happened, they built a statue memorializing the moment in the game right before halftime where Nick Foles, the backup quarterback for the Eagles, comes over to his head coach, Doug Peterson, and Doug Peterson tells him, we're going to do the Philly special, which was basically, Nick, you're going to
Sounds delicious.
toss it backwards to your receiver who can throw the ball, and then you yourself are going to run to the end zone. You're going to catch a touchdown pass.
That was before half?
That was before half. They got a touchdown before half.
I remember that completely wrong. But anyways, go ahead.
They got a touchdown before half. They ended up winning the game.
Yeah.
They build a statue
Of that specific moment.
Of that moment of
Sure,
Nick
sure.
Foles on the sideline getting the play call from Doug Peterson.
It was
and
fake.
Now you
Didn't
fast
even
forward to
happen.
2022,
Yeah.
and both Nick Foles and Doug Peterson are a part of different franchises.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Like,
so less than 5 years later, they've already burned the bridge of the Super Bowl they won and basically torn that team apart.
so can we only build statues for people that have died?
Clearly not.
Well, I mean, like maybe going forward.
But yeah, going
Is
forward,
that the solution?
We probably should.
Like, hey, man, that was awesome, but we're not building a statue about it till you
We're
die.
gonna wait. We're gonna wait to
Yeah,
see if you
but-
screw up.
But in the context of like George Washington, probably most of his statues were built after he died already.
Probably.
But public opinion has
hadn't
changed.
Yeah.
Well,
it
it
hadn't changed yet, but
at the
now it
time of
has
building.
changed.
I think
So
these
we just
sites-
wait until public opinion is finalized, which is never.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's always going to be changing.
So we never build statues.
So in a way, but you think about it like this: you think about a statue. Think about a statue like a building. You know, you build anything. It's like Legos.
Yeah.
Just because you build something doesn't mean it's locked in forever. It can still just get taken right down.
Frank's a master builder.
True.
By the way, with Legos.
Frank has built many Legos.
Yeah, he's Emmett from the Lego Movie. He really is. No, I think the institution that are like hosting these statues, let's say like the school or the state park or something,
Sure.
they do have a responsibility to educate people on the full picture. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning with like people being able to see the bigger picture of things.
Yeah.
Hey, we built this statue at a time where George Washington was our founding father. He was the first president. We glorified him. However, at this point in time, we look back at that behavior, and there's a lot of things that were not okay, and we want to educate you on both sides.
Right.
I think you should leave the decision up to the person versus making a sweeping, generalization like George Washington was bad. We're not putting any memorabilia to him.
Right.
Okay, there's no justification for slavery whatsoever, and like the way the country was founded was on blood, sweat, and imperialism, basically.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
it's like we can't ignore that, but it doesn't mean we should just abandon history. So I think education is the real aspect that's missing from a lot of these like cancel culture, a lot of things that are like controversial. It's like people need to sit and listen versus spouting emotional judgment on people before taking the time to actually make a decision. Because if you consume something, let's say you're reading a headline about Joe Rogan, it's hard to bring it back to him, but like you're reading a headline and it just says like Joe Rogan says racist remarks in the past and should be removed from Spotify's platform, blah blah blah, and you just accept that as fact without making a decision yourself, you've already lost. I feel like you've already lost because you're removing your own autonomy from making decisions about what you believe is to be true. Doesn't mean that what happened isn't true. It just means that you are letting yourself be controlled by some other narrative, whether it's left-leaning, right-leaning, central.
Is there a way to get through life without ever doing that to yourself, though?
I think
isn't there just too much out there? And I'm not even like trying to disprove a point. I'm just conjuring a question. Like, can you get through life without ever doing that?
No, that's
you
the point.
You can't, right?
Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. That's what I was saying. It's exhausting, and nobody really has the time, and that's why we trip up on it so often.
Right.
Nobody has the time to be self-aware enough to be correcting their own behaviors. Nobody's that dedicated to like self-improvement to try and be like some perfect human being.
Right.
Because we're
I'm
flawed.
sure some people would consider themselves to be though.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure, and that's the
When you
flaw.
get the
It's gotta be flawed.
that's the flaw. Yeah, that's when you get the actually.
Actually, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Actually, that's how that like.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a lot of value in like holding your words and like meditating on a thought for a minute before you speak. I think a lot of really important thinkers of the last couple centuries have tried to push the fact that like humans are not perfect, nor will they ever will be. We have ideals that we're striving towards. That's why the Bible exists. Is that there's examples and stories that we can use as guidelines.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we're not going to live up to those guidelines. And so you have to sit back and like meditate on the fact that life is suffering, and you have to try and be honest about that suffering in order to actually grow as a person.
Yeah, I love that. Man. Honestly,
Cheers
I
to
think
that.
I think the same.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to
Cheers.
close. I'm just saying, like, that's
Yeah.
a cheers right there.
That is a cheers. Yeah.
Contemplating one's own morality and human nature is definitely worthy of a drink, because it's like I
You
said,
know-
it's exhausting.
You know what I love to contemplate is like.
How do we feed everybody?
Yeah. How do we solve that problem?
This is Ryan's
I
favorite
do
question.
say that a lot. Like sometimes I'll get like a panoramic view of how many freaking houses there are or something like that. And I'm like,
or you're in a plane looking down.
I'm in a plane. I'm like, how the do we feed everybody? Seriously, does anybody actually know? You can give a blanket answer like, oh, well, there's farms and like, they bring the food in, but like, there's an incredible amount of
It's
food that
amazing.
gets wasted.
And it's also
eaten.
amazing that we have so many people and we inhabit like less than 10% of the earth.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's mostly water. That's
Exact-
why.
Exactly. So we got 80% water, 20% land, and even of the 20% land,
We barely
we're under
inhabit.
10%
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. huh?
of like populated by people, which is wild. And you think of like places like the Grand Canyon, and then you're just driving on a road trip and you see just mountains that are just completely uninhabited.
Dude, you know what I watched a YouTube video the other day about Arizona and how like Phoenix and these other what's the city that's super
Tucson?
south? Tucson.
Yeah.
They basically
I'm a Suns fan, so I know.
they took
Only NBA game I've ever been to.
they took the water from the Colorado River. The Colorado River used to go all the way to the ocean, obviously, because it's a river. It has to go to the ocean. But now it doesn't even get there. It doesn't even get there because
Because
much
we diverted
water
it?
diverts. Yeah, because it actually goes, I think it goes all the way down a little bit to Mexico, too. So, so much water is diverted to Arizona
Yeah.
that it doesn't even hit the ocean anymore. Can you believe that? The
That's-
Colorado River.
Incredibly depressing.
It is. Well, but like, and then you see golf courses in Arizona.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
like, it's a freaking desert. Like, there's no vegetation out there. It's like next to the Grand Canyon. You get the Grand Canyon. Obviously, the Colorado River's there, so there's some vegetation. But other than that, it's barren land.
Yeah, and then
yet-
you go to Scottsdale and they're watering the freaking golf courses with more water that's left in the Grand Canyon.
Dude, they have to use a ton of water.
Yeah.
Actually, what they do, it's really interesting, is they pump water back into the ground. So they create these underwater reservoirs, and they pump it into the ground so it doesn't evaporate. It's crazy. So if you're living in Arizona,
Fuck you for stealing all the water.
how do we
First of all, no,
instead
I'm
of
just
how do we
kidding.
feed someone, how do we get everyone hydrated? Like you're in the middle of the desert.
I saw a really interesting TikTok yesterday about somebody in Africa who was making a video, and it was like, hey, I don't know why everybody still says like, there's kids in Africa that don't have water, there's kids in Africa that don't have food, and he's like, we are people, we have progressed, and he's like drinking water, like they have they have like bags of water that they use. It's just their form of like a bottle of water.
Yeah.
And he's like, we have water, like you don't. This is just a Western idea of
The
like
meme is over. Stop.
yeah,
it,
yeah,
please.
the meme is done, dude. It's
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
It's passed on. It was like very interesting that we're taught as kids like save your food, reuse and stuff like that, because there's kids in Africa that are starving. And
Yeah,
to be fair,
yeah.
there's kids everywhere
That's
that
what I
are
was about to
starving.
say. It's like it shouldn't be an Africa thing. It's like a hey, like those 5 fries left on your plate right now.
Yeah.
Like you should finish them because there's somebody somewhere
Right outside the Chick-fil-A
that's
that
like-
could
that's-
use that
But
food.
isn't that a
or
dumb
there's someone
idea?
thousands of miles away whose stomach is just screaming for food, and like we can't get the food to them right now. So you should like enjoy this moment. Like
But
it
isn't
doesn't
that-
have to be like a certain space. Like it applies to
Pretty much the whole world.
The whole world,
Isn't
yeah.
that a dumb idea though for consumption? Like I feel like that was pushed on us by like
it is
the
a
food industry. Like, oh,
You
don't
have
eat
to
all your
finish.
food. Eat all your food.
Yeah.
You know? It's
Otherwise,
just
you're
like,
harming people around the world. 'cause
dude.
you-
If you're full, stop eating. Like we
Save
have a
it for
consumption
later.
problem.
that
here.
is a good
Like,
point
stop
too.
eating
Because
Like,
it's
we
like
have so many.
it's like I got these
sorry,
5
I was gonna say
fries.
fat, but
and
obese.
I can't
obese. We have an obesity
like
problem
I
here,
can't
you know?
throw
Fat
these,
shaming.
I can't.
No,
I
I
can't
didn't mean
throw
to
these
be like-
Canceled.
fries like
obesity is a big problem in this country. You know.
Oh,
And
of course.
It's like
it's the biggest comorbidity that leads to death in this entire
Exactly.
country.
exactly. So I just feel like that's such a dumb phrase. Like, oh,
J-
eat all your food because
Jim Gaffigan has
other
a great
people don't
joke.
have it.
Jim Gaffigan has a great joke about that. In his last special that just came out, like last month or in December, he was like, "Well, COVID showed us a lot of things. Basically, they got on the news and said, all you fat asses are gonna die. Sorry to break it to you, but all you
Yeah.
fat asses are gonna die." So,
Comorbidities, man. Yeah.
Sorry.
and he's like a big guy himself, so he was like,
Yeah,
"I
yeah.
can say this."
yeah,
It's pretty good.
dude. I I had a class in San Francisco where they tried to say that they tried to compare like someone who was overweight or obese to someone who was in shape, and then they were like, "Oh, they have the same life expectancy." I was just like, "What? That's not true."
Wait, who said that?
This class I was taking. in
Sounds like San
The
Francisco.
class, like
The class I was taking. in
like
San
the professor said.
the professor was putting on videos about how it's not unhealthy to be overweight.
What
and
they
I was
probably
like-
did, he probably took a data point. They probably averaged all Americans. Wouldn't that be funny?
But also,
right? Like that would
they're
be
they're not 100% wrong, because there are people that are overweight that live
will live
plenty.
the-
for
yeah,
sure.
no,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
so many factors
It's
that
just
go
a
into
rant-
or
like
like
living
so-
long.
or
it's
like
so-
you smoke cigarettes and you'll live to your 100.
Exactly.
It's
Like you
what
you
happened?
could have one person who smokes
Yeah.
the same amount as another person, and one dude dies at 50 and another one dies at 100.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And it's just because the other one's built different.
Yeah.
It's like, I know it's
Built different.
that's kind of like one of the a meme.
Well, your
the
body
built different,
adapts
but
too.
it's-
Like some people's
real.
bodies like literally adapt to it. You know.
which is crazy to think about. That
It-
your body can adapt to something that isn't healthy.
I feel like anybody that tries to make a blanket statement.
Cheers.
Yeah, basically. Woo! Anybody that tries to make a blanket statement about like a large group of people is
Mhm,
pretty much bound to fail,
Mhm.
because
Yeah, you can't, and that's what's so stupid about stereotypes.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
let's say you see a stereotype and then you're like, oh shit, stereotypes aren't real. But then 5 minutes later, you see something that just disproved the stereotype you just thought was proved.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
these
it's
guys will get approved for a bank loan, no problem. But it's like, oh no, they have shitty credit. They don't get approved for a bank loan. That's proving it wrong right
Exactly. Oh,
there.
wow, Frank, you're an actor? Yeah, I'm not giving you a credit card.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's
it's,
a lot
it's
of
just so many different factors.
What
yeah.
time we at, Frank?
We are at.
Did we real quick? Did we save?
Yeah, so
You saved.
I
it to
saved the first
block.
part. Yeah, so I
Okay,
saved
cool.
the first part. So we're not really in a mode
Sweet,
of like
sweet.
we're like struggling with
Just
like,
wanted to check that it
save
doesn't
space. You
stop
know?
out.
Yeah, yeah.
because we talked so much about Joe Rogan, we're pretty much emulating one of his podcasts. We're going for 6 hours.
6-hour podcast.
Straight into the night. We're gonna be blasted by the end of this.
So
This is really fun though.
yeah. Oh my God.
Thank you guys for having me on, by the
Oh,
way.
dude, thank
Don't
you
forget
so
to
much.
leave a comment and subscribe and rate on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
All of the above.
And leave a like on Anchor
Yeah.
or share it on
Yeah.
your Facebook feed
You
to your
guys
grandma
anchor, man.
to watch the video, because all those views contribute towards that Anchor sponsorship money.
Wow, you are
So-
better than us because
That's
we
true.
never
We've
mentioned
never
any
done
of that.
that.
I haven't heard a single reminder about
Huh.
subscribing, liking, watching, sharing.
We should put in our ad read. That's
All
what we should,
109
because that goes in
episodes.
everything. That goes
Yeah,
in
I mean,
everything.
we do kind of we
Hey,
sort
man.
of changed it up.
We-
per
Marketing and
episode what we
advertising.
do.
That's what I'm
yeah,
here
that's
for.
true. Hey, well, let's get back to that. Let's get back to that because you
Oh
never,
shit!
we never really got into it in depth. So, your position, from what I know now, could I call you an account manager type vibe? Because you're the point of contact. You're working with them. You're
Right.
seeing, hey, you're obviously doing some sales stuff too.
So somewhat, I'm a design specialist. I'm a digital marketing specialist. I'm a account manager. They have Like the clients have an actual account manager, the person that signed them up for our services, and they still communicate with them. But technically, I'm the one that's going to have the most contact with this person until they actually launch their website. So I'm part of the pre-live department, and it's exactly what it sounds like, pre-live.
Pre-live, and then you have your go lives. Is that what you guys call it?
Yes, we have the go lives.
Wow, that's
Dude,
cool.
go live.
And our IT team hates us, and it's just like, put a ticket in the queue. Don't talk to us.
So, do you guys, and you may not know this, but do you guys host the websites yourself?
Yes, we do. We use Liquid Web for hosting.
Oh, right on.
We
right on.
provide all our hosting. We have our own GoDaddy account. So I've learned so much about domains, hosting, SSL certificates, security.
Wow, really?
The back end of WordPress. I've learned how basic HTML code works.
That's cool, man. That's
I mean,
cool.
I taught myself that stuff because a lot of times, me being the communicator to the developer takes too much time.
Sure,
so somebody's like, "Can I just change the title of this section to be this?" I'm like,
yeah,
let me just do that while we're on the call. I just
very cool.
don't want to even
Very
waste time.
cool. That's awesome, man. That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, that's super
Put
cool.
that on my resume.
Okay, I gotta ask you, dude. Why for the first 10 years or 15 years of my life, I thought GoDaddy was like an adult website.
So their
what's
marketing,
that? What's that?
advertising,
That's how they
hell was that
marketed, dude.
marketing?
That was
dude,
the
those
marketing.
Super Bowl ads and everything from the early 2000s
Like
was meant to get you involved in their
Remember
company.
there was a Danica Patrick one where
Oh,
she was
yeah.
like naked or something? She was
Not
walking
naked.
around
She's just like, she's just trying to be sexy with the GoDaddy race
with
car
the-
uniform
yeah.
and everything like that.
It
like
was
that.
it was like the Hooters of TV.
It was like,
And then
you
they
know?
say it like GoDaddy.
Right?
Yeah.
Go
the name
Daddy
too,
dot-
GoDaddy.com.
I'm just like, GoDaddy, what?
I'm
What
like,
is
yes,
this?
Daddy, let's go. But then it's like, oh, it's just for my website domain. Let me just.
It's like nobody knew what it was. They were just like, oh, like hot
GoDaddy.
girls. Okay.
It is. It is pretty genius, though.
Well,
You
it's
think
quite
about it.
literally the biggest domain
Dude,
registrar in the world now.
literally-
So
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. it
Dude.
is.
So like the biggest website builder is GoDaddy.com.
Yes. Yes.
not website
No, no,
builder.
no, no, it doesn't
So
build.
the domain name, like the website URL,
Okay.
that individual name has to be hosted through a registrar, and you have to pay for that renewal each year.
I use Wix for my actor website.
Right, and Wix uses a third-party registrar
Oh,
like
okay.
GoDaddy or some
So
other.
what's your domain name?
account.
Like what would you send? Like
FranklinRakeups.com.
Boom.
Yeah.
So you actually own that through Wix.
I
or
own it through
Wix
Wix.
owns it and leases it to you.
I
something like
pay
that.
Wix to use that.
Right,
domain.
and
They
Wix
license it to you.
purchases that
Yeah.
domain through a registrar, like
Oh.
Fast Domain, like
Yeah,
HostGator,
yeah.
like
Okay.
Network Solutions,
Okay.
GoDaddy, all this kind of stuff. So
If there's something that I learned, being in, I don't know, programming, web, whatever, development, there is so much that goes into this stuff.
yeah.
People do not understand how much it takes to use some of the applications that are just so second nature to us. I mean, your phone. I mean, it's incredible, but the amount of work that
has gone into your
that,
phone. Yeah.
you gotta imagine. This iPhone has been in development for when did the first iPhone come out?
2005.
2005.
I think it was 07.
I'm just gonna
07?
be
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
be-
05.
I'm gonna be conservative. I'm gonna say they were developing it for 3 years. iOS, that is the operating system. That means that from 2004 to now, what is that? 16, 17, 18 years. They've been developing this software. That's day in and day out. You've got a team of Apple
Hey.
engineers.
January 9, 2007.
Okay, perfect.
Frank knows his dates.
I'm good
Perfect.
with the dates.
That's something
Perfect.
Frank has always been good at. He's
It's
like,
true.
I know that random fact.
He's got a great memory.
Yeah.
Even
iPhones came out, 2007. Like, why do you know that? Why can't you pass your
Yeah.
AP exams, but you can remember when the iPhones came out?
Why do you get ones on your AP test, but you know when the iPhone
Hey man,
came out? Damn.
ones all around.
That's
I got a 1 on my
hilarious.
AP Calculus BC test.
Did
I
you-
literally-
Did you try on yours? Because I
No.
just filled out bubbles.
I didn't even finish
I
the
can't
test.
remember what I got.
I ripped apart a piece of scratch paper and ate it during the test
Wow.
just because I was so bored. I was like, I'm not doing this test. I ripped apart a piece of paper to make as much noise as possible. Super annoying, super stupid. But I was like, let me just put this in my mouth.
Dude, I knew that I was
Disgusting.
not going to pass my AP test.
that was the same with me.
I knew.
It's like I knew. Okay, so I've already
I
got.
just showed up and I was like, oh, bummer, I didn't pass it.
was like,
I was just like, whatever.
I remember thinking to myself like, oh, I already passed the class, like the actual class. Like I know what my letter grade on my report card is going to be. So right now I am just.
B- is skating through.
I do remember it being really cool doing the calculus AP test because I remember knowing like, wow, as soon as the you can leave time hits,
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Dude.
yeah, pretty much.
I don't want to make a joke out of it though, because some of the people that actually passed 4 or 5
Yeah.
in high school graduated early. So I was just
Well, they graduated college early. Oh,
Sam
yeah.
got his master's
He got
in
his
year
master's
four
in
and a
5
half.
Yeah, I know.
4.5.
Yeah.
He got his master's.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
you know-
like my fiance Desi, she's an aerospace engineer, and she's like taken every calculus course known to man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude,
So-
she works on like
She works for Raytheon or
Raytheon.
yeah,
No
Collins Aerospace.
Wow.
She's like-
That's
she's-
cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
she's like the reasons why planes can fly.
pretty much.
Did you listen to the one with Interpret Bhutar, our episode? With
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Dude,
no,
you
that was
gotta
like
listen
4
to it.
episodes back.
He
Yeah.
works for
I saw that you Northrop Grumman or Lockheed.
Lockheed
Martin.
Yeah.
I saw the
Dude,
description.
That was a cool episode because
No,
like,
he's awesome,
he
man.
basically like works on UAVs.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
The
He,
shit
like,
we call it
he-
on Black Ops.
He works
Yeah.
on what's called like embedded systems. So like he programs all the little things that I don't know go
Yeah,
in the
well-
freaking flight.
Going back to
Machines.
programming,
Yeah.
the type of person it takes to be a UX designer and a UI
yeah,
designer
yeah, super
is
cool.
so crazy because you have to be an
Yeah.
insanely creative person to think of aesthetics and flow,
Absolutely.
but also have the programming knowledge to actually make it
Absolutely.
work.
Yeah.
And that type of skill is super valuable. That's why they get paid a shit ton of money. That's why Ryan makes good money.
I don't
Being
do
soft-
UX
I mean,
design, but
software.
Yeah, sure.
Still, it's the working
software.
part of it.
Software. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I
Software.
swear, like
Absolutely.
any job that has to do with like computer and tech,
Yeah.
like it better be some good money because
Dude,
god
it's
damn
so
it, like, I know
valuable.
I can't do that.
It's
shit.
so valuable. It's so valuable.
Well, there has to be content for the platforms that we're building, and there has to be
Exactly.
people that spread it out to the rest of the other people. So we all have places.
we all
You're building it, you're performing for it, and I'm spreading it through the world.
There we go.
That's the whole trifecta. Synergy.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. I'll drink. Cheers, I'll drink to that, brother.
Marty out. You guys still
Oh,
cooking there? Or
Dude,
what?
I
I'm
still have,
out.
like-
I'm just.
I have half my claw.
I'm taking a little sippy. Like,
Frank's
You know-
drinking fumes.
your drink is never really done, because it's really hard to get every drop out of a drink.
I don't know
right?
I don't know if I agree
I
with
don't know
that.
about
dude.
that.
Another one of Frank's famous
You
quotes.
can
know.
always-
The witty quotes.
Drink's never really done.
You can always get a little bit more.
All right, dude.
All right,
so
we got a live phone call on this podcast here.
we got a
Mm.
live phone
Mm.
call. Who,
I'm just gonna take it because we've never done this before.
okay,
It's
whatever.
Sam.
Hello, Sam.
Get it in the mic, dude.
No,
I can't hear.
this is Frank. You're live on the podcast. We're just.
I didn't hear it. I didn't.
We're doing our first ever live phone call podcast. What's up?
Oh, I'm the first caller in.
Yeah. First
Oh,
caller
yeah.
in.
Tell him he
are
sounds
Michael and
great.
Michaela there?
Michael and Michaela will be here any minute, and
Dude.
Scott is also just like 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Erica and I are by the elementary school in Manhattan Beach.
Okay.
I'm just. How long until you guys are gonna head to Bruce Hall?
Well, honestly, if you're right there, you might as well come over, and we'll make it one whole caravan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why,
Because
ask him why he's so lame, dude.
yeah,
What's
just
going on?
yeah. Come on, get over here, because we're wrapping up, and you guys and you, Michael, Michaela, Scott, you'll all be coming here about the same time.
Yeah, come on, Sam. I called you as a lifeline.
Tell him he's live right now.
I need you to help me become a millionaire.
Sam, say something witty.
Yeah, you got to say something funny, Sam. You're on live.
I don't have anything funny.
Okay, so
Sam.
we'll see you here at the apartment in like 15.
Yeah, sounds good.
Tell us
Alright,
about your
see you
AP
then.
exams.
Later.
All right.
Yeah,
To be fair,
Sam
to be
is a
fair,
dude who gets 4s and 5s on APs.
Yes,
That
to be
Sam is a
fair,
brilliant man.
Yeah.
Sam is a brilliant man, and he's awesome. And that was probably unfair for us to just throw.
Yeah,
him in.
that was our Hawaii guest. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah,
the
which
Hawaii
is
guest
also
episode.
honestly one of the drunkest episodes we've ever done.
I remember watching that.
If you haven't,
Just seeing
watched that
the
episode, like-
degradation of everybody's mental
Yeah, yeah.
state into the episode.
you can just skim
start-
through
you start
episode
swaying
1
a
and
lot
then
more.
get to episode
Dude,
2.
no way, dude, no way.
Yeah, it was a
We
fun
would have
episode.
gotten there, but we ran out of claws.
Yeah, we did.
And also, it took a long time to get things going today. You know?
today.
Yeah, because like
Oh,
we
yeah.
got the dogs and
Oh,
stuff.
for
True,
sure, for
true.
sure, for
We
sure,
had a
for sure.
2-hour window, but we only ended up getting to record
Yeah,
for the second
yeah,
hour
yeah,
because the
yeah,
dogs.
yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
True,
That's
true. We have 3 dogs here in the apartment today, and
Yeah, we do. We got my 2 dogs, Chelsea
Jacob's
and
dog.
Cheddar, and then
we got Toast.
Toast, who
Yeah,
is
we
honestly
got one
such an
medium,
angel.
2 big dogs.
I'll use this platform as a time to say we took a DNA test for my Corgi Husky dog,
Oh, right
only to
on.
find out that she has no Corgi in her.
Wait, I thought you said
Dude,
you said corgis.
So, I feel like the test lied, but
I do
it says
too.
I don't know.
she's
I don't know.
Husky,
Yeah.
and then Chihuahua was the next most prevalent. Like
She's got
species.
She's
That
gotta
makes
have some
no
corgi
sense
in
to
her.
me.
She's got to have some
So for
corgi.
all those whose image just popped in their head of a husky humping a chihuahua like mine did, I know it's a lot to take
or
in.
a
It seems
chihuahua
like-
humping a husky,
or a chihuahua. That's funnier.
Big
which
game.
is honestly better.
Which is because then it's almost
in a
like
bad way.
you're riding and you're riding.
Can you act it out for me?
Do you want to
Did
bend
you guys,
over?
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that one?
You riding and
It's
you're
like
riding?
You're riding and you're riding. Like not only is the Chihuahua
Dude,
riding
nice.
the husky, but it's
Yeah.
also riding the husky.
That's true. That's true.
Write that down.
All right, we're going off the rails here.
Yeah,
I-
okay. You want
But she literally has no corgi in here, according to the DNA test.
I don't know. But does corgi is corgi originated from a Chihuahua?
No,
mixed?
not at all. And if you look at her, she looks like she has corgi in
Yeah,
her.
'cause
It's
her-
a short stature.
the short
her legs are like
short legs.
not
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
grown. She looks like a husky that's like,
She honestly
mini size.
looks exactly like a corgi.
And this is a closeout of 109. We got sort of too tipsy after we had our second shutdown mid-recording, and we forgot to come back and finish. Basically finish the episode. And although the first 30 minutes or so have bad audio with the feedback going on, and then we had to stop, and then we came back and did like another 30 or so, and then we got shut down by the run out of space.
One of the
and-
craziest episodes that we've done.
one of the
that's
least
for sure.
professional ones, but I think
Absolutely.
I think when you just like focus
You're welcome.
on the words spoken, I think you'll realize that we had some great discussion. And this way we now have another reason to record with Jacob, because our episode was so all over the place that it doesn't even feel like we did like a regular one, because here we are again on Skype doing it again like we did the first time
next
we
day.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jacob, thank you so much. Thanks for being a great guest, man. We had, honestly, it was such a good time. Not only doing the podcast, but hanging out as well.
yeah.
And
yeah, man. It was a ton of fun. I had a really good time.
You're a trooper, dude. I mean, you hopped on the call, had to deal with all of our technical difficulties. So thanks, brother.
Yes.
I'm always happy to bring some Martinez luck to the podcast setup. It's kind of a notorious thing. Something's always going to go wrong.
I like
it.
I like it.
But it's all good.
Nice,
I had a lot of
nice.
fun. We got pretty deep and a little buzzed, and the chaos of the night ensued afterwards. So it was a really good time. I really enjoyed catching up with everybody. So it was good to see you guys and see the whole squad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, chaos is a great way to describe it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. That's what life is.
exactly. Well, here's the Life is Chaos with our no White Claws. We're cheersing in spirit. This is
Grab something.
wrapping up.
Just grab anything.
This is wrapping up episode 109.
Grab an Espion. Right,
Got a
like
little
there
Lego
you go.
piece. Cheers.
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 109 coming to a close. Thanks for listening, liking, commenting, subscribing, all this stuff. We love you.
Love
Yeah,
y'all.
thanks, gang.
Peace out.
Peace.